Hello.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's our last broadcast for the week, thanks to Thanksgiving.
Thanks to Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful that Al Ferguson's not here.
That's
Wow.
we all are. Let's all get
He's off getting his turkey stuff.
I thought he stuffed the turkey.
I don't know.
That's what he claims. That's what he said.
That's what he
All talk, you know.
I think the lady doth protest too much. It's going to be a fun night tonight.
Yeah.
We've got the gamut of stories from crazy Republicans to drag queens.
Well, that's always a story.
Isn't crazy Republican redundant?
It is redundant.
It is. Especially
Crazy is really being complimentary at this point.
Really?
Being very generous.
sad.
All right,
Let's do
get the
this.
show on the road. Well, good evening. Welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening news. It's time to queer up the news. It's 8 p.m. Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021, and we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the partnership between Happening Out Television Network and Hotspots Magazine. Hotspots is celebrating 36 years of the LGBTQ+ experience. We bring you the best of LGBTQ+ news, entertainment, and support of our community.
I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, David Hopkins. Before we start for introductions, I'm going to co-op the show to tell everybody to come join us for our Lambda Men's Brotherhood fundraiser, the Leather Mask Ball 16 at the Eagle on Friday. Tickets are available at eaglebarwm.com. But let's welcome anchor Dale Stine. A master's graduate from Juilliard School, he's a well-known photographer, famous for his photographs of internationally acclaimed celebrities and personalities. He's presently the director of music ministry at Unity on the Bay and moderator of South Florida's largest LGBTQ+ Facebook group, Miami Gay List. He served on the Miami Beach LGBTQ Advisory Committee and now sits on the city's Human Rights Committee. Good evening, Dale.
Good evening, y'all. It's great to be here, and thank you, David. Let's welcome John Hayden, a reporter for South Florida Gay News, covering politics, arts, and philanthropic organizations. John has been a journalist for 26 years, much of it covering the stupidity and scandals of Hollywood. He's interviewed nearly every big name in TV, movies, music, and considers the time he spent with Cher as the best 4 minutes of his life. Good luck, and good evening, John.
Thank you so much. Let's also welcome Dr. Julio Capo Jr. He is a history professor and deputy director of the Wilsonian Public Humanities Lab at FIU. He specializes in the history of race relations and immigration in the United States, as well as LGBTQ+ studies. He is the author of the book, Welcome to Fairyland, Queer Miami Before 1940. Did Miami exist before 1940? Oh, okay. And he's also curated a new exhibition called Messages from a Pandemic, AIDS Graphic Communication. Good evening, Julio.
Hi, thanks for having me. And let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro, a 1999 inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is the author of 2 short story collections and 5 books of poetry. As an entertainment journalist, his celebrity interviews and music reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ+ and mainstream publications and websites. And a screensaver movie review column can be found in South Florida Gay News, San Francisco's Bay Area Reporter, RottenTomatoes.com, and so much more. Good evening, Gregg.
Hello, hello, hello. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ+ community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the Queer News for today, Tuesday, November 23rd.
We begin by queering up politics. Don Jr. steals LGBTQ for a Let's Get Biden to Quit shirt. He needs the money. Donald Trump Jr. is hoping to make a little extra cash this holiday season, so he's resorted to selling anti-Biden LGBTQ+ pride merchandise on his official website. In a recent tweet, he announced these shirts, saying, quote, "Want a perfect surprise for your favorite lib relative this Thanksgiving? Check these out. Make a statement without saying a word," end quote. The tweet included shirts saying, "Let's get Biden to quit," with the LGBT and Q in rainbow colors, "Fauci kills puppies," and "Censor D's." According to Don Jr.'s lesbian cousin Mary, quote, "Donnie is a deeply unintelligent person. I've been asked who's the stupidest one, and it's him," end quote. And if poor little Donnie wants trolling lessons, I know a certain member of production of an LGBTQ news show that can help.
I want a t-shirt that says, "Let's get Don Jr. to quit breathing."
I like that, yeah.
I think, and the whole family, I don't know, the total IQ must be well under 150 for the whole family, the whole loot of them.
It's funny, when I used to wait tables on Fort Lauderdale Beach, one of my regular customers was Brad Parscale, who was Trump's campaign, and he's a brilliant troll. He also is a hardcore libertarian, not Republican, so he doesn't even really fit with a lot of Trump's politics, but he's the one that came up with the deplorables and all that stuff and like really made it run with it. He understands trolling. The Trumps themselves do not understand it, except for Mary.
It's another cash grab as the Trump visibility and most importantly, their influence wanes. Whether they like to admit it or not.
Expensive.
That's what I hear.
It's not waning as much as I'd like it to wane, though. It's still there. So next, let's queer up religion. National Church apologizes to LGBTQ+ on behalf of religion. One of the most discussed topics that affect LGBTQ+ equality is the hate speech that we face from the religious and evangelical community. Made clear from the 1980s and Jerry Falwell's moral majority to the Southern Baptist Convention, Liberty University, Mormon financing of California's Prop 8, to the violence seen from Westboro Baptist Church, the LGBTQ+ community often suffers from PTSD because of the rejection of religion. But in the darkness of these organizations, our community also is seeing a new light at the end of the tunnel. More and more religious organizations and churches are voicing support of our community, marching in pride parades and embracing LGBTQ+ as a respected part of the broader community. So when Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins talked about the religious community's support of LGBTQ+, he made news. Watkins leads the largest queer church in the world at Fort Lauderdale's Sunshine Cathedral. His words on the state of religion in America may be something you have not heard before. Watch this.
To people who have suffered anywhere while religion fueled the fires of hate, or while it turned away as you writhed in pain, we apologize to you for religion's failure. We apologize to you for how something that was meant for good was turned into a weapon of hate and cruelty and oppression. And we offer you, we understand if you don't trust it and don't want to take it, but we offer you the soothing balm of non-doctrinal, non-dogmatic, non-creedal, all-inclusive, all-loving spirituality. To everyone who hears these words, I speak with prophetic passion when I tell you that there is goodness in you. No matter what you've heard, no matter what you've told, no matter what Bible verse was tossed at you like a stone, they were wrong. They used it wrong. They understood it wrongly.
Well, this story warms even my cold atheist heart.
I didn't know that. I always say that atheists have to have the strongest faith of all. I mean, that always kind of throws it for. Does that throw you for a loop? I'm, as I was stated earlier, I'm on the staff at Unity on the Bay. And I grew up Methodist, which is a pretty typical Protestant church, but being in Unity on the Bay, which is very much an all-inclusive, open, accepting environment, is amazing. I mean, several of us on the staff are openly gay. Our associate minister is gay, married, and has a child. So it's such a relief not to be in the kind of religion that is cumbersome and painful and hurtful.
Mm-hmm. Well, in South Florida, we are home to several of the big mega churches that are very homophobic, like the one just north of us a little bit. But we also have like Unity on the Bay, we have Sunshine Cathedral, we have the Congregationalist Hayden. There's lots of different religions that have very, very LGBT accepting churches here in our community. So if you are a person of faith, or if you are looking for faith, anyone can find that here in South Florida, and we're so lucky to have that.
Yeah.
And it's nice that he made those comments, and I believe that they absolutely are genuine from his heart. And we're actually here at Sunshine Cathedral right now, doing this broadcast. But the key is to not only find love from some churches, but also to dilute the political power. Because let's face it, his voice is great, but it's not the loudest. We need to dilute the power of the Falwell Juniors, the Graham Juniors, this whole second wave of moral majority that is absolutely out of date.
I totally agree.
All right, let's queer up entertainment. We move on. Shang-Chi to Bowen Yang. Aren't you the openly bottom guy on SNL? Spoiler alert, yes he is. Bowen Yang was once again the star of the show on this week's Saturday Night Live, when Yang was joined by the host, Simu Liu of Marvel's Shang-Chi. It was a breakthrough for Asian representation. It's the first time there was both an Asian male host and an Asian male cast member in the same episode. Liu and Yang made a point of that as they start bragging about how many awards they've gotten for being the first Asian to do just about anything. Awards included First Gay Asian Cast Member to mispronounce Boutique for Yang, and First Asian Man to deadpan on Splash Mountain for Liu. Liu's role in Shang-Chi also netted him the first Asian man to blow up a dragon from the inside. Now, Yang quickly replied saying, quote, "I got the same one too, but it means something else." Yes, it does. Yang also flexes his appearance on people's sexiest men alive list. Liu asks, "Weren't you the first openly bottom guy on that list?" Now, we can't show you the clip because NBC Universal will kill us in our sleep if we do, but we encourage you to check it out on the SNL YouTube channel. And it was a fun show all around. Sweetie was a great guest, but they're the first, oh God, if they could just be the first top and bottom on the scene.
If Liu were gay, I would be very happy after having seen Shang-Chi like 4 times this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Oh my.
Yeah.
He's very sexy.
And he should do more comedy. He's a really natural
Well, he was
comedian.
great in that segment. The segment was
Absolutely.
hysterical. I mean, it was really genuinely funny. And they were having such a blast in that segment. It was a
It
joy.
boggles my mind, though, to imagine that after all these years on air, that there has just never been both a cast member and a host that are Asian. I mean, this is really hard to kind of process.
You could probably count both the number of Asian cast members and number of Asian hosts on one hand.
Yeah.
It's not much representation.
Margaret Cho
sadly.
and
Yeah.
That is our queer news headlines for tonight. So let's catch up on the LGBTQ plus news surrounding COVID-19 with our special segment called Quarantine Quickies.
Queer News Tonight is reported on coronavirus on every news broadcast since January 6th of 2020. Tonight we report that as of today, more than 3,412,000 LGBTQ plus Americans have contracted COVID-19.
Queer News Tonight remembers the more than 55,000 LGBTQ plus Americans that have died from coronavirus.
But the news is improving because as of today, more than 452 million vaccination doses have been administered in the United States.
So that is our pandemic news for tonight. Next, we report on our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine and supporting that partnership. Happening Out Television Network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious live broadcast in the world, as more than 30,000 watch every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Now watch this.
Hello, my name is Peter Basuito, also known as My Big Funny Peter. I'm an internationally known comedian and entertainer, and the Sunshine Cathedral is definitely my queer church.
We finished tonight's queer news headlines with what we call LGBTQ plus flash news.
So let's get going. LGBTQ plus flash news. GOP lawmaker says perverse lifestyle of gays justifies getting beat up. A Republican lawmaker in Montana said that LGBTQ people who get beat up for holding hands in public are receiving the normal consequences associated with the choices they have made, and said that LGBTQ people recruit young people, a reference to child molestation, in a speech this week. State Senator Teresa Manzella was speaking at a God Country family event in Clinton, Montana about the LGBTQ agenda Wednesday night, defending real estate agent Brandon Huber. Huber is facing an ethics complaint with the Missoula Organization of Realtors for hate speech against LGBTQ people after he wrote a letter to his church denouncing a food bank's pride flyers. She said LGBTQ people, quote, play the protected class card by complaining about violence against them. She brought up how queer people are afraid to hold hands with someone of the same sex in public out of fear of getting beat up, saying, quote, I've got to tell you, I think those are normal consequences associated with the choices they have made. Goodness. Wow. I don't know what to say other than like, no, that's not a thing, and that's wrong. Yeah.
This woman is a vile, terrible, festering sack of something, and I just can't say that word because we'll get banned from Facebook and YouTube.
Wow.
I mean, what is it? This is 1983. This is literally old school gay bashing. It's encouraging. It's literally normalizing. She says these are the normal consequences that should happen. And it's bringing back the boogeyman of pedophilia, when we all know straight people are more often and disproportionately to their population size the pedophiles. I'm sorry. This makes me angry.
Yeah.
I see that.
You're almost turning red.
But you know what the normal consequences of hating on gays are? Her hair and makeup.
Well, Montana is known as the Treasure State, and it should be buried. More LGBTQ plus flash news. America's first all-trans hockey team hits the ice in Wisconsin. 2 years after 16 hockey players joined forces in Boston to become the first entirely transgender sports team in the United States, Team Trans, a growing group of novice to advanced players, reunited this past weekend at Capitol Ice Arena in Middleton, Wisconsin, to take on the Madison Gay Hockey Association in a weekend friendship series. When the inaugural Team Trans first stepped off the ice and into the locker room 2 years ago, the players said they could tell that something was different. While many of them had played in LGBTQ leagues, they were often the only trans player on their team and struggled to find a community of trans athletes to talk to. But for one weekend, these players were all able to bond over a shared love for the sport and a mutual understanding of their personal struggles with gender identity. 10 states have recently passed laws to ban transgendered youth from participating in school sports that align with their gender identity, with proponents claiming that this legislation is designed to keep all athletes on a level playing field. Okay, so here's the thing that I don't understand about gays playing hockey. Why would you be playing a sport where you could potentially lose your teeth with a stick or a puck? I don't understand that part. That's just me.
There's a pro side to that, though.
I mean, I guess. I'm playing a big softball tournament in a few days, and I'm excited. I'm happy to see good news coming out of Wisconsin after the Rittenhouse verdict in Kenosha, and that is just devastating. And this is encouraging news to see more representation of LGBTQ folks in sports.
Yeah, and everyone needs to be able to find a place where they belong and where they can be accepted, even in sports ball, which, Greg's not a fan of. But hockey players are hot, so this is great news for me.
You know what? They can yell at us, they can call us names, they can beat us up. But the fact is, Montana is the past. Things like this are the absolute future, and that's wonderful. That's right.
Yeah, the iciest, chilliest story is the most heartwarming of all.
Next on LGBTQ plus Flash News. Drag queens, kings, and gamers unite for charity on World AIDS Day. Watch this.
Hello, Black people.
Hey! Goofy is a black single father, okay? Yeah, Goofy is a black single father.
Squirtle, did you know about this? I love drag, and trans people always have a space within drag.
F everybody, I'm Filipino, and this is the way that I talk, move.
For every person that may feel weird about a kink, there's also like plenty of people who love kink.
This is our art form. We're just using our canvas that we were born with to project that.
That's just speaking to the point earlier that they're not giving us the same exact thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Has left the competition.
What the just happened?
Oh. She's a vampire, honey.
Got the camera.
Oh no.
Oh, she got shot. She got shot. Oh no. I got shot.
The second ever Stream Queens Con is nigh. Streaming exclusively on Twitch, the virtual convention seeks to unify the drag queens, kings, characters, and creatures of the site for a weekend of panels, gaming, drag, beauty and makeup, LGBTQ plus multimedia, diversity, visibility, and so much more. The upcoming con will feature 40 hours of curated content across 4 days, over 75 creators, 90 participants globally, culminating in a large-scale drag lip-sync show on the last day. Panels include Scream Queers, LGBTQIA2+ in horror media, Pokemon, comedy and drag, gaming guilty pleasures, indie games, drag on a budget, and more. It begins December 1st, which is World AIDS Day, and the first day of Stream Queens Con will be a charity stream through Tiltify for AmFAR. Queer News Tonight recently reported that members of Stream Queens had been victims of swatting, and we're all glad they're continuing their work despite the pranks. I'm the video game nerd of production and normally of the panel. I put this show in tonight because I was in charge, so I got to do that. We broadcast all of our content from Happening Out Television Network on Twitch. I'm a big fan of Twitch. I follow Angina and Detox from RuPaul's Drag Race on Twitch. Peppermint's part of the Stream Queens. It's going to be an amazing con.
Pokemon? Yes, I will. Anybody want to see my Pikachu?
Oh, you've really been like, something's in your water tonight. I don't know what's going on with you. I think this is super dope and exciting, but I'm also just concerned because I never really heard the term swatting until I read this story. I thought it was some kind of sexual position, so I was just a little confused.
And I hope they raise lots of cash for the cause.
Yeah, I really want to. This is amazing. I didn't know about this, and I love everything I saw. Yeah, can't wait.
All right, LGBTQ plus flash news. Santa is gay. Woo! In a Postal Service ad called "When Harry Meets Santa." Watch this.
Jeg har mange pakker jeg må levere. Jeg kommer tilbake neste år. Ja, alle hvor vi har vært en satt, det drøpte ned på meg. Er fin? Jeg kommer til å savne deg. Det er mange som venter på pakkene sine. En dag i året. Et år til.
Noen pakker til deg. God jul!
Jeg fikk tak i litt assistanse i år, så jeg kan være sammen med deg.
Oh my God, forget Father Christmas, give me Daddy Christmas. The nearly 4-minute ad titled "When Harry Met Santa" plays like a short film. It begins with one man's chance encounter with Saint Nick. Is there such thing as a chance encounter with Saint Nick? And the two have an instant spark. The ad then follows their growing connection over subsequent holidays. During their meetings, Santa explains he only has one day each year, and he has a lot of presents to deliver. When Harry writes a letter to the North Pole, Santa gets a little help from the Norwegian Postal Service, who apparently intercepts and reads all your mail to Santa, and delivers the presents so that he can spend the whole night just with Harry. Oh, so cute. And I have to say, he can slide down my chimney anytime. In fact, my nose is getting a little red just thinking about it.
And I do, the Norwegians, I just love the progressiveness. And I just really want to say the stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
Oh. Santa baby, please use protection and don't be a ho, ho, ho.
He didn't have to go to the North Pole to get in his pole. No, it didn't work. It didn't work. I tried.
It was there.
It was
edging. It was almost there.
It's one of, can you imagine this in a U.S. postal service? I mean, there's just no, this is it's incredible and beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I recommend everybody go look up the full video. It's twice as long as what we played, and it shows the build-up. It shows Harry during the year when he's kind of got his family, but you can tell he's lonely. It made me cry this afternoon when we were doing this story. I'm getting a little teary-eyed now. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad someone's feeling the Christmas spirit.
Beautiful. LGBTQ plus flash news. Pornhub new brand ambassador is trans model Natassia Dreams. Pornhub has announced that trans adult actress and model Natassia Dreams has joined the company as its latest brand ambassador, helping the brand to connect with its audience. She'll join adult actresses Kira Noir and Asa Akira on the brand ambassador team and will appear in future Pornhub campaigns as well as represent Pornhub at industry events. In a Pornhub press release, the company said, quote, "We are thrilled to welcome Natassia Dreams to the Pornhub family as one of our brand ambassadors. Natassia is a strong, passionate woman, and we were really drawn to her confidence and fierce ambition. As a member of and advocate for the Black transgender community, she embodies our commitment to celebrating individuality and self-expression." It's amazing. I love every part. There's a lot of really good feel good stories today, so that makes me happy. We need that. We need more of that.
And Natassia Dreams is amazing. Not that I've ever watched porn, but she does a lot of work with modeling and with the community as well as her adult industry. And she's a really good example of the stigma attached to adult performers, that they're less than people or they're bad people. She's an amazing community person, and she just happens to have sex for money, and everybody's jealous.
That's right.
And this is more than representation. This is a position where she's going to be able to actually make an actual impact. And after TDOR this past weekend, Trans Day of Remembrance, and reading the names of more than 55 people, double amount of violence against the trans community this year, this is a really good story and something that I think will be impactful going forward.
And I think it's very exciting how Pornhub is so out there in the community and representing on every avenue, every part of the world. It's very embracing, and I really didn't know that Pornhub had so many ambassadors. I really had no idea until reading the story.
And I'm sure hateful transphobe Lily Cade will have something to say about this news as well, so stand by.
All right, that's today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing, ring the bell for updates, and share this news with your friends and your family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you are a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserve the attention of your family and friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That's the passion of Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. I'm your anchor, David Hopkins, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Dr. Julio Capo Jr., Dale Stine, Gregg Shapiro, and John Hayden, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving with friends and family, be they family through birth or chosen family. We return next week when we'll see you daily at 8 p.m. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire